With everything we choose, there's always going to be consequences. And the best thing is, how do you come back to the center of your mind and bring yourself peace to observe the event that took place from the cause of it instead of the victim of it?
If you ever wondered what happens to someone who experiences a true spiritual awakening, not just reading about it, but actually lives it, this conversation is really going to blow your mind. I'm here with Igor Galibov, who underwent a spontaneous spiritual surgery in Brazil, yes, spiritual surgery, that completely activated his abilities he never knew he had. And he went from being just a regular guy to suddenly seeing energy fields, traveling to other dimensions, and understanding how physical diseases are actually just blocked energy in our emotional and mental bodies. Igor is going to explain to you why most healing approaches only treat symptoms and how working with these unseen energy bodies can actually transform your health from the inside out. You see, most people don't realize that so much of the disease that we see in the physical world are just because we're carrying fragments that need to be reintegrated. And Igor will show you exactly how to do that. Additionally, if you ever wondered how Jesus healed, or the relationship between Jesus and Mary Magdalene, and even how sex can actually change your health, believe it or not, you're going to get these answers and so much more in this episode of Heal Thyself. All right, Igor, welcome to the show, my man. I can't wait to go into this deep conversation about spirituality.
I'm with you on that one.
All right,
definitely.
Man. I'm going to hit you with some rapid fire questions. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to this. Is there a best time to meditate during the day?
No.
Okay. What is one practice every person should be doing?
Breath.
Can you visit other dimensions?
Yes.
How do you stay grounded doing that?
By having a strong practice within, and the breath work definitely will help you with that.
What's one of the biggest spiritual myths that you'd love to debunk?
Myths. Depends from what perspective you're looking at it, but I think they're all such a dimensional layered information, but I don't think they're really myths because they are actually existing from a different perspective.
Mm-hmm. So it's a reality in itself.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So if you can give yourself one piece of advice, your pre-awakened self, what's one thing you would say?
One thing I would say is, tell you the truth, right now, I love where I'm at, and I think every mistake got me to where I'm at.
Beautiful.
I just love those mistakes because really honed in.
Last one. Can you complete this sentence? The universe or God is always trying to communicate
through you.
Through you. Ooh, okay. Welcome to the show, my man.
Yeah.
Really, I can't wait. These are my favorite conversations. I love health. I love the gut health. I love the thyroids. I love the hormones, the brain, nervous system, but this is the real stuff. This is the stuff that I love when people can give these sort of elements of the things that are unseen, which I know is your biggest passion, speaking about the unseen. Mm-hmm. But there's something that happened to you in Brazil.
Yeah.
You had a really dramatic spiritual surgery.
Correct.
Which I never heard of. Spiritual surgery. What was the effect on that, and how did that completely change your life?
This was, first of all, I went there not for myself. I went there to support my mother, and with my uncle, I was like, all right. But when I arrived there, I was so intrigued with what was going on that I decided just to go up to the line. As I went up to the line, I did not expect to have a physical spiritual surgery take place. After that experience, I started to see and feel energy, which I did not understand. I was 24 years old. There was nothing about spirituality anywhere. MSN Messenger was just coming around. AOL Mail was coming. There was no Google. There's nothing you can search. Mm-hmm. And there was not a big experience on that. So what I started to feel and see threw me into shock. Threw my whole system into shock because I didn't know what to do with it. It was like I was a kid with all the gifts, but no wisdom. Mm. I was able to travel to any dimension, any solar system, any experience just by talking about it. And I was there. I did not understand that my consciousness was traveling to those places until later on I started to figure out. So after that awakening, I came home and I just locked myself up in my room because I didn't understand what was going on. My physical body was responding and feeling what's happening next to a person next to me. I wasn't aware of that. So I didn't know anything about anatomy. I didn't know anything about the physical body. I was just feeling things and end up being in different dimensions. So with trial and error, within years, I started to put myself together. And there was several books that really, really assisted me in grounding. I wouldn't say grounded. I grounded myself probably 10 years later, because before that, it was just everything in the ethers. Completely lost interest in the physical reality, and I started to venture out into the field. I started to feel things before they happened in my body. I started to feel what's going on there, but I didn't understand. I started to see stuff, but I didn't understand. I started to kind of venture out and perceive the future, but I didn't understand. And with trial and error, I started to kind of put things together, and then I saw like, oh, wow, what is inside my body? I grabbed a book of anatomy and I saw organs. As I saw the organs, I understood, whoa, okay, this is not to digest food. They're to digest emotions.
Amen.
And I was like, wait a minute. It's not about the food. It's about how we process information internally. And with time, I started to understand that the organs are like inside of a watch. You have all the little mechanisms moving together, and they keep all the arrows on the proper minutes, hours, seconds. If one of them is off, your clock is off from aligning with the galactical timeline. So as I started to see the process between that, I started to like explore, okay, I want to know more. Where can I get this information? And we had a bookstore called Garden of Letters in South Street of Philadelphia. So I drove there and I grabbed books. As soon as I grabbed books, I opened them, and the first thing I see, it's just like, this energy starts going into my body. Now, without me reading, I started to download this information unconsciously, because you just feel energy flowing through. You're like, whoa, whoa. And then later on, as things happen in life, that information started to come to me. It was like, wait a minute, how do I know this? And just from that experience, because I was connecting to the consciousness of the writer. And one of the writers was Dr.G, which my dad gave me that book when I was 16 years old. And I just took that book, Multi-Orgasm Man, and just threw it to the side. I was like, what is this? Then I remembered there were chakras on there, and I grabbed it. And when I grabbed it, it just lit up inside of me. And the other book was called The Keys of Enoch by J.J. Hurtak and Desiree Hurtak, which is completely out of this world. I don't know if you...
I've heard of it.
When I grabbed that book took me away for 4 years. That was it.
Wow.
That book was the one that took me to different dimensions, and I started to understand what angels are. Metatron, Melchizedek, what are the architectural designs that they represent, energies. And I started to venture out every night and every day. All I wanted to do was meditate. So out of the 24 hours in the day, about 18 to 20 hours, I would meditate. I did not care about physical reality at all. I didn't even want to take a shower. I didn't want to eat. I was 140 pounds to one point, because I'm 6 foot tall, and I was 140 pounds because I didn't have a desire to eat. I was just in meditation. And during the meditation, I would venture out to different solar systems. And in that moment, I connected to these beings that started to explain to me how the energy bodies work. That's what became, for me, was my school. This was my friends, because I disconnected from my friends, family. I couldn't relate to them. It was just impossible. And as much as I wanted to stop that, I couldn't. It would come back. I would get these energies and I would feel horrible, come back home and clear my energy for 3 days, sit in meditations. Then again, okay, what do? Feel good and everything. And again, I go out. Again, I fall vibrationally. I start feeling pain here, there. Again, I start going through the process of meditation and clearing myself. So then I kind of understood, okay, what's happening in the field? Like, we're sitting here, our fields are interacting, people are watching, they're probably receiving information without even knowing it, but they're feeling something. Their interaction that takes place because there's no time or space. So I started to explore the fields and the chakra systems in the fields. Because just like we have the 7 here, there are also chakra systems in the mental, emotional, astral, the causal body, all the way to the galactic, even the universal body. But we're just exploring the 7 now.
Yeah.
You know, when we get into the emotional, the mental body, this is where the whole game begins. Everything starts from there. And if you don't address it within a 3-day period, right? Let's say you go out somewhere or you have experienced a heightened emotion, and that emotion is lingering first in the field. And if you don't address it within the first 3 days, that energy starts to penetrate and find space within your body to anchor itself into the cells of the body, maybe organs, depending on the emotional state that you're operating in. So I started to observe those things. I was like, wait a minute, if I remove this and I address it within a certain period of time, then I'm bypassing the illness, but I'm actually transmuting the field of what creates matter. Mm-hmm. So why are we always trying to heal matter? If everything comes from energy, then we should start from there. So I started to go deeper into that, and I started to do a little bit of healings, and it was a lot of healings. And then I realized that I'm picking up all this stuff. I was like, okay, I cannot keep doing these healings because my physical body is actually, my nervous system is going through trauma itself from somebody else's karmic patterns. So how do I do this? So I started to retrain myself. How do I teach people to do this?
Yeah.
Because I really teach you and you really understand it and you hone down on it. And tomorrow you go into the same frequency and experience it again, you know how to address it. But if somebody heals you, you don't know. So you're going to keep repeating these patterns, not only in this timeline, but in other timelines as well. So I was like, okay, I got to change this. So I started to try to put everything together in a form so people can understand it and tap into that field themselves. Mm-hmm. So it's like a pyramid structure on the physical. We have to have a strong foundation. But if you're coming from the ether, if you want to build a house on the physical, you need to build a foundation first, right? Then you have the walls, electricity, and so forth. If you start in the ether, you can start with the roof and end up with the foundation last, because there is no logic to it. Mm-hmm. It is illogical. It has its own logical thought process, which we are not used to because we're so used to utilizing the 3D dimension of how to. Mm-hmm. And the how to here does not apply to there. Because if you start to work on the multidimensional self and you start to heal yourself in the field, let's say in the emotional body, the mental body, it might take you to a different lifetime that is resonating at that same problem that occurred. Mm-hmm. So how do you come back here and heal that? So you also have to have awareness and discernment what is needed for you in this timeline. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of times I was doing healings and those healings were going to another dimension instead of here. Mm-hmm. So we also have to know, how do we find that core within ourselves and that structure to create a solid structure that will benefit in the growth of this lifetime.
Hey man. Whew, okay, let me digest. Yeah. I'm feeling it because I followed everything you said, and it really resonates. I feel it in my body, and I know when things are true because I feel it. And before we even address all the things, that spiritual surgery, that moment, all the way back in Brazil.
Yeah.
Now in retrospect, since you're open, you have this awareness, this consciousness, what happened to your body, whether it was your physical, mental, emotional, what happened in that moment that activated you to this space?
Okay, so there was what took place there when that spiritual surgery took place. I was out of my body, standing behind the healer, looking at myself while this was taking place. I did not understand that at first. I really tried to open my eyes because this was really strange and weird. I tried to open my eyes, I couldn't, and I was watching the whole process. As soon as he was done, I was back in my body, and next thing I knew was I just felt so much energy, so much power. so expanded. I felt like I was Superman in a sense, like so much power. What took place during that time period was a reset of my energy field. There was nothing literally wrong with my field. It was completely crystallized. So why did it happen to me? My brother went there. It didn't happen to him. Mm-hmm. I know other people that went there. It didn't happen to them either. It was a choice. This choice comes from the development on the soul level, because this is a completely different of the development of the oversoul. The oversoul has also memory of lifetimes where it has been self-realized. If a person is really willing to, in this lifetime, to go through that process, that energy will actually open up through the crown and find space to anchor itself in. This is where the energy of the heart comes in to accept that soul mission, you can say. Because what happens is the whole body, the whole cells, everything was healed. There was nothing wrong with me, literally. I knew that I had problems. I had polyp problems, I have allergies, I had rashes, all kinds of stuff. All of a sudden, everything was gone. Within a 6-month period, something started to come back.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, why is it coming back? Because I noticed, I caught myself that I'm going back to think the way my personality was taught to think. I was like, okay, let me see what I can do. And it was like playing with myself constantly, trial and error. I would get frustrated, and I would get angry, and then I would get happy. And I would go from one extreme to another until I found balance. And that was like a lot of self-reflection, a lot of work, a lot of sitting with myself, crying with myself, because there was nobody to talk to, nobody to share with. If I did tell somebody, they'd be like, what's wrong with you, bro? You crazy? Are you okay? Let's go have a drink. I think you need a drink. Let's go smoke a joint.
Right.
A joint.
Yeah, something different.
And I'm like, okay, let's go have a drink. I would drink and I would feel horrible.
Yeah.
I would feel horrible. I didn't know that it wasn't good. I was like, okay, I need to stop this. I cannot do this. And I was constantly like doing these things. But coming back to that space, I was completely reset. So it was a point where I felt my soul's other achievements have come through.
I want to ground, and it's beautiful because now in retrospect, you knew what that spiritual surgery activated within you. There's a lot of questions that I have now, and I know that probably the audience does too. And one thing that is, because my language is emotions for healing and working with people, I work on the emotional plane. Do you believe that physical diseases, let's say like a cancer, is the manifestation of mental, emotional, unseen realms that is manifesting in the body? Our bodies have this incredible ability to renew itself inside out at the cellular level. But as we age, this process really begins to slow down. That is why I discovered something truly game-changing. It's from MitoPure, from Timeline. I tried all of the health trends to get out of feeling tired or foggy, really feeling off my game. And if you've done the same, you are not alone. I promise you this. It's really time to go deeper into your cells, deeper into your mitochondria. And what makes MitoPure special is that it's not only clinically proven as a supplement to help your cells clean out and renew themselves, but it's like a reset button to your cellular health overall. And what blew my mind is people are seeing increases in muscle strength, which makes sense, right? Because we have so much mitochondria in our muscles. But up to 12% after 16 weeks, it actually boosts your muscle endurance by up to 70% after 8 weeks. Yeah, there's research studies here on MitoPure. And this is with people not changing their workout routine, just taking MitoPure. And we're living longer than ever, but are we living truly better? And what if the key is not just adding years to your life, but it's really feeling better on a cellular level? I take MitoPure, I take 2 a day, every single day, whether it's capsule or their new gummies, which I do love. I look forward to those, actually more than the capsules. Don't say it too loud. But I've seen firsthand how this cellular renewal can really translate to better results, better energy, better overall workouts. I love it. The gummies are actually sugar-free. They're naturally sweetened with stevia. They're vegan, gluten-free, and GMO. I'm going to take these probably for the long term of my life. Hopefully they're out forever. I really love them. The science behind it is fascinating. MitoPure actually delivers 6 times more urolithin A than a glass of pomegranate juice. And we know that people drink pomegranate juice to live longer. And it's a #1 doctor recommended urolithin A supplement in the industry. Think of it like home maintenance, cleaning out the home, breaking down, getting rid of all the stuff that needs to be repaired so new energy can flow. There's spaciousness, right? The gummies are amazing. They fit perfectly into my daily routine, and I keep them on my kitchen counter. I take, like I said, 2 every single morning. I don't have to take so many pills. So I'm excited to share with you that you can get 20% off of your first Timeline purchase. There's never been a better time to experience the benefits of the Mida Pure gummies. Go to timeline.com/DRG. That is TIMELINE.com/DRG and use the code DRG at checkout to receive 20% off today. Let me talk to you something that has been a total game changer in my home, and it's probably not what you think. It is an air purifier, because what we breathe in matters as much as what we eat or drink. And air quality in our homes can be filled from everything from mold spores to pollen to smoke to allergies. And air purifiers are so important. Most of them are going to be in plastic boxes, make a lot of noise. And then I discovered the Jasper. The Jasper was brought to me by my sales team, and they said, this is a fantastic air purifier. And I looked into it, and it was true. I loved it so much that I got the founder on. And what immediately caught my attention is the design. It's so many of the air purifiers are clunky, antiquated looking, 90s looking, and this is sleek, quiet, and powerful. But here's what really got me. It's built with steel, not plastic. So we're talking about machines that are actually built to last. So Jasper handles everything from smoke to mold to pollen, all the allergens that make you feel terrible without you even realizing why. Whether you're dealing with seasonal allergies, live in an area that is susceptible to wildfires or smoke, or just want the cleanest air possible in your home, get this. I am confident that you will love it. It has a lifetime warranty. Yes, lifetime. That tells you everything you need to know about the quality and engineering that goes into these units. Since I've been using my Jasper for about a year now, I have 2 running. One's on the first floor, one's on the second floor. I have 3 actually, 1 first floor, second, third floor. And I've noticed cleaner air, better overall sleep, and just an overall sense that my home environment is clean. The air is nice. We tested it. We had people come in and test the air, and they say the air is super clean. Thank you, Jasper. Go to jasper.co/DRG and use the code DRG for $200 off for a limited time. That is JASPR.co/DRG. The code is DRG.
Correct. Yeah. There are illnesses that we come as contracts, as from birth, and there are illnesses that we create for ourselves throughout life based on our mental patterns. To me, the emotional body is the space of sensation and feeling awareness. So the emotional body is not the problem, because it just stores information, doesn't even know why. It just wants to store it. It is the mental programming that triggers that emotional body. And the mental programming is within the nervous systems, within the 12 brain nerves to the brainstem. If we really truly find that and we see it, it's like being so aware that you can dive deep into your cells and see where the electrical pulse between the mind and the organ is not functioning. It is within that electrical pulse that we start to get illnesses. We call it illness. It is not. It is just stagnant energy that is not flowing through the emotional and mental body. Them two are not communicating. It is, you can say, the masculine and the feminine, the positive and the negative. They're misfiring. And because they're misfiring, the physical body is just the result of what's taking place in the field. So it's showing you this. But cancers is just a form of lack of self-love. Because we call it darkness, emotions that are hurt, that are pain. I mean, every single person in this world, what do they want? What do they need?
More love.
They just want to be seen, loved, nurtured, held, recognized. And when we see that in ourselves, that darkness that we call, and we do that to that darkness, it comes into light. It's saw, it's being seen, it's being recognized. And when that happens, the cells in the body right away shift. I mean, most of the people that meditate or do this work, they feel like a jolt of energy will run through your body. It's a nervous system that is expanding, allowing that electrical pulse to flow through. And that's why we feel that jolt. So the more we allow that electrical pulse to flow through the physical body that is coming from the higher dimensions of our soul, the more we are healed. But we're not actually healed. We're aligned.
Because it never was a disease. It's just the expression of the disruption.
Yeah.
but we see it as disease, and how can we cure it on the physical level? You're saying a lot of things, man. And listen, I think this podcast might go a little bit over because I got a lot of damn questions for you. Okay, you piqued my interest. All right, you see how I changed my position because there's a lot of things flowing through me now. You just mentioned connecting to that darkness, and my life has been very synchronous lately. And I want to share with you something that has been coming into my awareness. And it is befriending and reconnecting with every dark part of me, every regret I've had, every anger streak, every mean streak out of integrity, anything, even sexual out of integrity, just everything. I've been connecting, closing my eyes, feeling my heart, and actually inviting all that darkness to meet, reintegrate. I feel like this has been changing my life, man. That exercise that just intuitively came to me has been so potent. In your words, in your terms, and I've been telling everyone around me to start doing this because it's been helping me so much. In your terms, in your awareness, in your language, what is happening when someone reconnects to that darkness inside of them?
To me, is that darkness is ignoring thyself. When you ignore that part and it's not being seen, it looks like darkness because based on your perception. All it is just, it needs your awareness. What happens is we go through a trauma, even sexual trauma, let's say, right? And then you start to respond and to react to certain places, and you start to look at things from sexual hunger. Why? Because it's lacking your own awareness. So when you bring that darkness up, and you actually love it and nurture it and you sit with it, it has no choice but turn into light. It's basically a fragment of yourself that is coming back. It's like if you have a plate and you drop it and it shatters into a million pieces. This is what we are. We are shattered beings who are putting ourselves back together. And every piece that that is shattered is actually darkness that is perceived from the personality because it's pushing itself away. Instead of pushing the darkness away, invite it in. Invite it in, because when you invite it, it opens its heart and says, I am seen. I will show you why I'm here. I will tell you why that you have this problem or disease or trauma.
The fragmentation.
But we are taught from childhood, if somebody's bad to you or something, push them away.
Yeah.
Leave them. No, they're not bad. They're showing you an aspect of yourself. I was flying here and came to the airport, and this lady in the airport was just kind of very rude. And I just stopped and I looked at her and I said, kind of, you know what? I'm sorry if I didn't see you. Just that's all. She shifted. But I didn't even tap into her or bump into her or anything. But the people in front of me, she was really like rude to them.
Yeah.
And that shifted everything completely, because we all want to be seen. So does the darkness.
So does the darkness, dude. I've even heard the word fragment when I'm doing this. So you say fragmentation. This is, you ever seen the movie The Truman Show?
No.
With Jim Carrey, where
yes,
like everything's a movie.
Yeah.
This is weirding me out, this conversation, because I'm feeling like this is The Truman Show. I feel like there's a special camera here because this is exactly what's been going on, at least in my experience. But of course we're having this conversation because it's needed now. It's in the awareness. And I'm really valuing this as viewers and listeners, really, really potent information. I want you to be really present with this conversation because we're going to go deeper, and this is really, really important stuff. I have been out of nowhere very interested in the way that Jesus healed. And what did he embody? I grew up religious. I stopped being religious. I became very spiritual. But then there's something that came into my awareness in the past month. And I've been really obsessed with this work. How was it? First of all, was Jesus a real person to you? Because I know we're going to go back in time, and I want to go back into the Enoch stuff too, by the way. That's still in my head. Was Jesus a real person to you? And if he was a real person, how was he such an effective embodied healer?
Jesus Yahshua. Yahshua was a real person to a certain dimension, but when we look at the Bible itself, the Bible and all the prophets in it, Enoch, Elijah, John, all of them kind of came and prophesied of Yahshua coming into this reality. That is the story of the cosmos expressing itself in this 3D reality. Each one of them came in to pave the way for Yahshua to realize his Christ consciousness, which is the source itself, you can say. There's a lot of information we can talk about this, but there's also Mary Magdalene, because we have two of everything, yeah? We have two arms, two legs, right? Two nostrils, two ears, but we have one heart. That other heart also needs a half in order for it to realize that higher potential, because they become a reflection of one seed from the source. There's a lot of information that's missing out about how she played a role and he played a role, both. But he's a representation of this divine perfection of source itself, where his healing practices is not about healing. He sees you as perfect. So when we do retreats or we hold space for people in retreats, the reason people feel that, for me at least, when I hold space like that, I see them already at that space where they are perfect.
Yeah.
And because you are the space holder and you believe that and only that, that's why these people in your space become healed or aligned and transformed, is because you believe, and not only you believe, you know that they are perfect. And that knowingness is what brings it into reality. Because I will take back the word belief, because belief is still not a knowingness. You know?
That's a belief.
But exactly. But when you know, it's so deep inside that the cells have no choice but to step into that dimension.
I wish I can, and I probably will show you my whiteboard upstairs in my bedroom, and it says exactly that to know that people aren't broken. Because the very identification of you thinking people are broken completely collapses that healing that is potential there. The knowing that they're not broken, being like this divine source of truth, of people being able to feel your presence and seen in your eyes, holy shit, I'm accepted as not broken, and he sees me or she sees me. Now, that's super potent. That's healing. So that's what I've been trying to embody, man. And it's so cool that you're saying this right now. And I'm so happy we're having this conversation, because I was thinking, how am I going to get someone to talk about Jesus healing on this podcast? And there it is. It just comes up. It's incredible, man. So thank you for giving us perspective on that.
That energy of Christ consciousness came through last year for me during Easter time. And it's been very present, very present. You take a look at what he studied, the space of Judaism, going back to those understandings of the Hebrew letters. They're not letters, they're numbers. It's Deuteronomy. It's the codes of existence itself. The Yod, Hey, Vav, Hey. To understand those codes, because they are actually expressions of I am. And when we understand that, because we have been taught for so many years to talk, but not to feel.
For sure.
And that can only be perceived from the astral plane. See, Jesus had resurrection. Buddha had resurrection. Osiris had resurrection. What does that mean? That means they have conquered their physical, emotional, mental, and astral bodies. When you unite that, it becomes spirit into one. They're no longer separate. The emotional and the mental body are working in unison, right? They're spiraling, they're spinning in one frequency. They're supporting one another. They're not distorted. That takes you to the Christ consciousness, because in that, now you are no longer bounded by the body or the physical reality. Therefore, you have a choice how you experience this reality. They're stepping out of matrix. That is true stepping out of matrix. You know, when you don't need to go look at the ocean to make yourself feel good, you just feel good.
Yeah.
You don't need to look at the sunrise to make yourself feel good. You already feel good. You don't need another partner to tell you how beautiful or loving you are. You already know that you are that. So these parts is a really true deep transformation. But in order to do that, we really need to disconnect from this physical reality. That's what they did back then. That's why he always disappeared. That's why Buddha disappeared. That's why you have monks going into caves, sitting with themselves, is to disconnect from the mental belief that the collective has given us. So once you do that, then you can step into that astral body. But you can also do this while we're in this life. That's why we came here now, is because the whole world is shifting towards that direction. We're all becoming aware. Kids are coming in aware of that. And we're all embodying the Christ consciousness, because on the cosmic level, he has returned. Meaning not him, but the Christ consciousness within each individual that is ready to receive that aspect is coming back. So that's why we're turning to that more. We're seeing that more.
Yeah.
We're paying attention to Christ. What did he say? Or what is that really going on? What was the meaning behind it? You just mentioned a few months ago, you were having that experience. That's because you're aligned with that and you've done your work to really embody that Christ consciousness within yourself.
Wow.
So the energy says, I will wait until this physical body and mind says, I am ready for this energy. And when the personality, the persona really has shifted, that energy presents itself.
And it's always been there.
Exactly. It's just been waiting in the ether.
It's been waiting for you.
Yeah, because it's waiting for you. And if it has to wait a lifetime, it will wait another lifetime because it's timeless.
So do you believe that this was what was saying the second coming of Christ?
Well, the second coming of Christ is the Christ consciousness is descending upon this world through the geometrical structures of the astral body, which holds different geometrical structures. The pinnacle of the pyramid is becoming awakened. Because within each one of us, there is that geometrical structure within the ether. So that's why geometry is the language of the ether or the astral body, because when you go beyond that, no words or sound can affect it. But the astral body, the sound and geometry creates it.
So to ground this for us, we have our physical body. Is there another layer outside of it?
Yeah. That's why they're called energy bodies, right? They're still your body. That's what they're called, energy bodies.
Yeah.
So we have the etheric body, which is the closest layer to a person. When you look at a person, you see this white silhouette around them. When you stare at them, that's the etheric. Then you have the emotional. Then you have the mental.
Above it, on top of it?
They are actually, well, for the linear term to explain that they are in layers, but in reality, they are overlaying one another. So if you say emotional body, right now you're in emotional, it's in the same space. You say mental body, you're in the mental body, it's still in the same space, but it just appears itself multidimensionally and switches based on your mental perception.
Which is in line with quantum physics.
Exactly.
Because it's the observer is collapsing the experience.
Exactly.
Unbelievable.
So, but they all have their own rotational spin.
So they have their own unique imprint.
Exactly.
But based on your observation or awareness around it, it appears.
Correct.
Okay, so they're all sort of just a realm of potentiality that collapses into.
You know how you look at a lava lamp and all these things are flowing all the time?
Yeah.
That's what it is energy constantly in motion, flowing back and forth. And then when you bring awareness to it, that's the one you call in.
Okay, I got it.
That's the one that shows itself.
Okay, so before the awareness, there's the potentiality lava lamp of energy body, the emotional body, the mental body, or is the emotional and mental body the energy body?
They're energy bodies.
They're energy bodies.
They're different frequencies of it.
Different frequencies with their own spins.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they all encompassed by the astral body.
But this is something we don't see. Obviously, we only see the physical.
Yeah.
So they're within the astral body. So the astral body is like the lamp of the lava lamp?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything outside of it connected to us, still our bodies?
Correct. Yeah. Then goes the causal body. The causal body is the cause of your existence, the programming that comes from the soul level itself and says, okay, these are the experiences you're going to have in this lifetime.
Yeah.
At age of 33, you're going to have this. At age of 24, you're going to have this. And these programs that you have kind of came here preset to experience in order to rise up to the oversoul.
Gotcha. So in the causal body, and I have to reframe it my own way for me to understand and honest, in the causal body, disease can exist there if it's part of your life blueprint.
In the causal body, they're not diseases. They're the cause of existence. The causal body takes the information from the astral body from all lifetimes. So when we leave from here, we leave a shed. A shed is basically like information imprint, right? Like a snake sheds its skin.
Yeah.
Through your mental and emotional body will nothing be left, only the astral body. The biggest experiences that you had that had a very heightened emotion, positive or negative, what we call it, it doesn't look at it that way, just a heightened emotion, the astral body will take that information to the soul level.
Okay, in the causal body.
In the causal body.
Okay.
The causal body now is a multidimensional thing which experiences lives in different parallel realities. Your past life, your future lives, your extraterrestrial lives, different dimensional lives. It connects through vibration and frequency to them because it is not linear. Even me explaining this to you now, it actually creates a linear explanation, which is a paradox. It shifts all the time.
Right. Okay. So there are, within the causal body, it's working within multiple realities.
Correct.
Okay. So it is your soul. So when we die, we are causal body. We go to the causal body realm.
The astral body will take the experiences from this lifetime.
Where's the astral body now? Is that the causal body or is it later?
They can communicate through different chakra systems.
Okay. So now I understand the causal body. Is that where our higher self is, where we get messages?
Correct. The higher self, you can say, is, let's say you look at a toroid field, the peak of the toroidal field, right on top of that would be the higher self, is what gave birth to time.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because there's no time beyond the higher self.
Okay. So when from the physical body, mental, emotional body, time exists.
Yes.
Causal body, time's done.
Time is done.
Because it's in a different dimension.
Yes.
It's beyond space and time.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm understanding. So now the causal body, higher self, still communicating with our physical ego
Yes.
self, this human experience, but already has the blueprint for our life.
Correct.
Okay. Past the causal body, is there anything else that's connected to us?
Yes.
Oh, Lord. What else?
So we come into layers, right? We have the thought process of how you think, I think, how our families think. Then we have the thought process of the collective of this region. People in California think one way. People in New York think differently. People in China think differently. You have that thought process. Then you have the thought process of the world, how everybody thinks in the world. Then you have the galactic thought process. Then you have the universal thought process. In that universal thought process, which is the higher mind grid, also more stuff to be tapped into or transformed. This is why the yogis completely go away and sit in isolation, is to release all the mental beliefs and patterns that they have created in their field. And when that takes place, they connect to the higher source effortlessly because there's no interruption of beliefs from this reality dimension. Now, this is very deep stuff that we're talking about. You know, some people will be like, what are they talking about? This is crazy, out of this world. But in the course, I go over this stuff step by step.
Amazing.
Because I understood this stuff and I felt it and I wanted to explain this to people. So I designed a course where we take week by week and we work piece by piece in order to clear out the emotional programming, the mental programming, in order for a person to feel and to step into that space.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, man. That's because when we get into conversations like this, people can go, holy moly.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say to the viewers and listeners, if you abandon all of the belief systems right now, be very present with this conversation. See if you feel anything. If you feel something, it's probably true for you. It's probably true for you in your reality, right? So just sense if you're feeling anything in this conversation, because I know I do.
Yeah.
When we connect to source, is that in the causal realm or is it beyond the causal realm?
It already goes beyond the causal realm.
It
Source
goes beyond
is source itself.
beyond those the collective thoughts and everything, right to source.
Yeah.
Can we connect to source?
We're always connected to source.
Always.
It's just our mind is so busy that it doesn't hear the source.
So source is always communicating with us.
It was always flowing through us.
Flowing through us.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's always flowing through us. It is just taking the time and quiet the mind. You know, people a lot of times, they close their eyes, they go to bed, okay, I'm going to sleep. And all of a sudden, they're like, yesterday I could have done this. Tomorrow I'm going to do this. Right now I am this. They're not sleeping. They're not in the present moment.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole thing is through the meditative practices. Meditation was one of the greatest tools that was utilized on Earth. It has been imprinted into the belief system of the grid of Earth. So therefore, why fight it? Go try it. It's the best thing, because the more you sit and meditate, the more you'll be able to find stillness. Because what we understand, time, right? It's something moving. But if I move my hand really, really fast, you stop seeing my finger. It becomes almost invisible. In meditation, when we come into that stillness space, everything that's around you moving becomes irrelevant. And that's when you find stillness or peace within yourself. Is because a lot of times what happens in meditation, we start getting into it, and all of a sudden a thought comes and we start interacting with it.
For sure.
Right? And it's like, okay, wait, come back. The whole thing is to constantly bring yourself back. So if you left with that thought, that means you have to start your meditation again.
Yeah.
It's reset. It's not like 10 minutes I did it and that's it. No, 10 minutes you did it, you're like, feels good. Okay, I'm out.
Yeah. It's a reset back to square one.
Yeah.
How long should people be sitting in meditation then?
It depends on each person, depends on their will and how strong they are to be able to do this, because this is where the masculine, the feminine energy comes into play. You know, the will and the desire of the masculine is like, I'm doing this. And then you step into it and you switch into your feminine side. I'm flowing with this.
I'm being, you're receiving.
Exactly.
And the point of meditation is for source to directly communicate with you and what, bring more light, bring more clarity, bring more healing. What are we doing? Just to quiet the mind?
First is to find stillness, or just to find a little bit of clarity, a little bit of peace within yourself.
Yeah.
That's one, I think. And for the first thing, even people trying to do meditation, don't try to do meditation if your breath is not balanced yet, because you'll never get into that space, because the breath is very important. It's like, don't look at your body as your body. Look at your body as a vehicle, a machine. Okay? It's a technology. And everybody right now, even watching this, breathe in. Where do you breathe? Most people are breathing here or here.
We gotta go.
Nobody's breathing naturally below the navel.
Yeah.
Right? It has to be natural breathing into that space without even you paying attention. It took me about 2 years to fully reprogram my breath so it constantly goes there naturally. Because if you're breathing there, that means you're getting enough oxygen and blood circulation into your brain so you can raise the vibration of your brain to find peace. Otherwise, as soon as you tap into it, you're like, okay, I did it. And the ego takes over. It's like, okay, what do we do now? Where do we go? Like,
right. That checklist done.
Yeah.
I feel that, man. So breathe into the belly, find some time, just begin to quiet the mind. That's the only thing. Just a little more peace is quote unquote, if there ever was a goal.
Yeah.
That's what we'll start noticing. Time, you mentioned twice already. Okay. Time. We live in this linear world, right?
Yeah.
Like past, present, future. That's what we think about, right? You've traveled to all these realms. What is time, and how do you experience it what's the reality of time? That's what I would love to know. Is my death already happening when I'm born?
Yeah, because it's timeless.
Because it's
everything's timeless.
So is it that my death exists when I'm born in the same realm, and it's already exists energetically and has yet to materialize? Is that what it is?
There's several. Let's look at it this way. You come in and let's say you already know your death, right? But it doesn't mean it's going to be that death. It could be a different death based on the experiences you choose, because you have free will through this space. So right now you could have one death, and then another time you have come to a self-realization, you're going to have a completely different death. So don't hold on to a vision that you see of the future, It is taking the proper actions to make the timeline aligned here.
So if we have a vision, let's say not of our death, but of like, I want to get married and I want to live in this place, we have to align the timeline. That's what you're saying. It's more of aligning timelines.
Yeah, it's basically taking the action. It's taking the steps. It's trusting yourself. For me, for instance, I see, let's say this event takes place 5 years from now. Okay, I trust it, I let it go. And I hold that vision in the back of my mind, in my ether. It's programmed, that's it. And I always start to act upon it, start to walk through life towards that direction. I trust that the universe is going to bring that to me. I know that it will. There's no other way, because this is what I've chosen.
Yeah.
With everything we choose, there's always going to be consequences.
Yeah.
There is no wrong or right. It is how you respond to these transformations and emotional flares that we have. And the best thing is, how do you come back to the center of your mind and bring yourself to peace, to observe the event that took place from the cause of it instead of the victim of it?
That's the most empowering approach then. If something happens, let's say it's out of on the surface, it's happening to us.
Yeah.
Maybe we were supposed to experience it, right? The best thing is then to sit down, sit with that event from the observer status.
Yeah.
Quiet the mind and actually see it objectively without the egoic and personality sponsorships, right? Yeah. Okay. That's empowering because we actually have a tool now, right? It can ground this whole conversation with things that we can do, which is really, really potent. It's beautiful. What about when something is emotionally charged? Let's say someone crosses my boundary, they were really angry and they hit my car and I was like, oh, what the hell? Yeah. I can emotionally regulate. I can probably breathe and be like, okay, I understand. I get it. Am I repressing an emotion if I don't express it? Is something being dug in if I don't actually express, oh my God, I'm so angry in this moment? Mm-hmm. Is that contrary to our own body's health, physical or emotional body? Do we have to honor that expression of the emotion as well?
There's many ways to express your emotion. Take a look at different ways. Some people want to scream, like release that emotion through rage. But what really happens to the nervous system?
Activates.
It activates. There's a release process, but you're creating more stagnant energy inside yourself during that time period.
Through the activation?
Through the scream, let's say, right? Through that emotion. But if you take a look at right away and you breathe in, and the whole system changes right away. Because what happens is, let's say you went through that car accident that you gave an example, somebody hit your car. It's a shock. Your whole breath shifted and the nervous system and the energy field shifted.
Yeah, yeah.
So instead of diving into the event that took place, it's a matrix. Don't dive into the matrix. Come back to yourself. How's your body? How are you feeling? Mm-hmm. You're still alive. You're still here. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
Only a piece of metal got damaged. It's okay. You come back to yourself. When you come back to yourself, you intuitively will right away feel, okay, it was slowing me down from this. I'll give you a perfect example. My daughter calls me and says, Papa, I slept through the whole day. It's 2:00. I had so many things that I needed to do. And I woke up at 6 a.m. I said, okay. Were you laying around, bumming around in bed from 6 till 2? No, I was sleeping. I was like, then God wanted you to sleep. There's a reason for it. You did not do your errands because you needed to rest maybe. What were your dreams? Yeah, there was stuff going on. Okay. What if you got in a car accident if you went? Right? What if this was meant to be? Instead of stressing about it, let's see the other perspective. It's not like you were laying around, bumming around, doing nothing.
Yeah.
There was a cause for that. You got up at 6 a.m., which you usually don't, to do your stuff, but yet it took you back to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah.
So honor that and see, okay, the positivity in this, but it takes time to reprogram our neurological pathway because there's a grid level, the mental grid, which is programmed to think a certain way. And through the meditative state, when we reprogram that mental grid, the mind, the emotional body will no longer respond to that mental grid anymore.
Right. Because it's being sponsored by the thoughts of the mental.
Exactly.
I see. Okay. So the mental grid is very important.
Yeah.
Very, very important that we have awareness of that, like you said, subtle connection between that part of our brain and actually the organ that it can be affecting, right?
Yeah.
Like when we come back to the disease state, of course, this is a health show. Okay. Wait, let me just ground myself now. All right. Now you mentioned, I want to talk about Mary Magdalene. Okay. You mentioned Mary Magdalene.
Yeah.
And I have a friend, and she's going to get real mad if she listens to the show and I don't ask more about Mary Magdalene. So I'm doing this one for you, Becca. Mary Magdalene, in the Bible, painted a completely different way.
Yeah.
In reality, was she a feminine counterpart to the masculine energy of Jesus?
Yeah.
Were they the embodiments of the embodied feminine and the embodied masculine?
Yeah. She is the Christed feminine consciousness. He was the Christed masculine consciousness. Okay. There is a lot involved in there. That process, when two soulmates meet each other, it's an instant inner knowing. Because what happens is the soul, you can say, again, I'm going to explain of how the way I see it, but you can have so many different perspectives on these things. The soul has separated itself as it came into this reality. Mm-hmm. Both of them knew that this is what they're going to do. Because of religion and the way it is, they removed her. And I believe in 560 AD, AD, the Pope has removed all the information about Mary Magdalene. And in 1964-65, the Pope wanted to release all that information back to the public about Mary Magdalene. They said, no, you can't do it, because for the past 2,000 years, people believed this is it. If we bring it back, people will lose faith in Christianity completely. There's a saying, behind every powerful man, there's a powerful woman. It is not that she's powerful, he's powerful. They are walking together as one unit, inseparable. They understand and feel one another through the space of heart beyond time or space. They could be on completely different parts of the world, but they can sense one another. They can feel one another's emotion. They can feel one another's arousal. They can feel one another's mental patterns without communication. This is the existence in the astral body, because we are no longer separate from the energy bodies. We're in one. That's why he was able to resurrect. They're holding space for one another. Same thing, the story goes of Osiris and Isis, Shiva and Shakti. They found each other. They became gods because they supported one another to come to that space. There's a very important part where our body is a vessel, is a temple. And there's other beings and dimensions out there that we don't see, that can very easily tell us, no, go do this, go do that.
Yeah.
There's a very important part to become aware of where your thoughts are, your unconscious thoughts. They have mastered this. They walk the path together. So they become inseparable and in tune with one another. It's beyond love. It is the unification of all levels. So Mary Magdalene is, if we take a look at even the pictures of Mary Magdalene, or Mother Mary, when they have the covered head and the covered comes completely, if you take a look at it, what does it look like?
It looks like a vagina.
Exactly.
So it just hit me right now.
Exactly.
Wow.
It looks like a vagina, and her head is the clitoris, right?
Yeah.
And then you look at the male, right? And the Shiva Lingam.
Yeah.
Same thing. It's the inside of the uterus with the penis erected inside.
Whoa.
It is the two coming together to create. And those two survived is because they are here to serve. So when those two come together and they become of service and to bring in the higher cosmic wisdom to this world, that's when these relationships survive.
Ooh. So I'm thinking to myself, man, yeah, I'm very few and far between lost for words on these shows. Trust me, I always got something to say. But this is really mind blowing to me, man, because I grew up religious. I went to Catholic school when I was little, completely different teachings. And to me, I'm hearing this, and it's such a travesty that Christianity has suppressed such a beautiful, sacred wisdom. It is information, it is inspiration. And we have been suppressed only to look at this patriarchal approach of worshiping this man versus what I'm hearing is worshiping these two expressions of God as one, as this most incredible divine matrimony of beyond love, like you said. Like when you say that, I feel like, oh my God, like this is true beauty, like the highest level of loving beauty that I can ever imagine. So again, trying to ground this to us people over here just listening, and hearing this beautiful just duo of consciousness. How do we approach our relationships? How do we approach is it that there is a soulmate? Is there a soulmate for everyone?
Yeah,
there is. Okay. How the hell do we know who our soulmate is? Are we always looking for each other's energy bringing us together?
That's the problem. We shouldn't be looking for that. We should be first working on ourselves. So I'll tell you a little story, if you don't mind.
For sure.
Okay. I went to Egypt. I take people to pilgrimages. Egypt, Jordan, Turkey. I just came back from Turkey. And the reason I went to Turkey is because where Mother Mary lived. Yeah. That's where she lived and died after Jesus' crucifixion. While I was in Egypt, we came to a temple where priestesses lived only. Now, this is where the astral perception kicked in, and I was just observing what took place during that timeline. These women were priestesses. They were completely isolated from the physical reality. During that time period, Yeshua and Mary Magdalene come to them to get married. 8-day wedding. These priestesses, instead of marrying them, connected energetically to their chakra systems, to their energy centers, to Yeshua and Mary Magdalene, to make sure that they stay connected to the source for 7 days and not get deviated for 1 second from the source. A vertical connection for 7 days. On day 7, when they stood connected to source, to the Elohim consciousness, to the divine source, to light itself, on day 8, they only got married because the test was to be divinely loyal to yourself first. Because if you are loyal to that light above you, then the one that is also loyal to the light above you will be able to join with you to complete the soul mission of bringing in the divine light into this earth, creating heaven on earth. Yeah. These words represent something, but we are so busy in our everyday reality that we get swiped away from the source itself. And we get diluted by what's going on outside and how we look and what people do and what they say, instead of sitting in that space. And when you truly come into that, and you let go of the desire of connecting to your soulmate, they will come naturally, because the universe will find a match vibration, will bring him from the other side of the world to meet one another.
Ooh. All of you looking for a partner, now you have the codes. Work on yourself, be connected to that light. Yeah. Meditate, close your eyes, feel that light, feel your truth, feel who you are, divine. And let everything else take care of itself.
Exactly.
I've been to that temple. I've been to the temple. Is it the one on the water?
You're talking about the Isis temple.
The Isis temple.
Yeah, that's
the one
Isis
on the water
temple.
with like it's the priestess temple. It's incredible.
Yeah, that's a beautiful temple. Yes.
Yeah.
But it was this is a temple off the main strip of. It's actually past Alexandria.
Oh, I didn't go there.
Yeah, it's a very rare. There are some beautiful, powerful waters there. It's a desert there as well, and in the middle there, there's just this broken temple. That experience for me there was much more powerful than being inside the pyramid.
Yeah. Yeah. There's something.
Experienced that image was the marriage of my own feminine and Christ itself. That's when I understood, wait a minute, after I came back home, a few weeks later, what that really represented. It is the marriage within yourself of the masculine and the feminine. And when you do that, that is when the other half will also come to you in that same state of consciousness. And then more work begins to the higher level where you two intertwine. This is now where comes in sexual divine alchemy. This is now already lovemaking, and where you heal one another through the lovemaking. It is a space where the male energy can absorb the negativity of the female energy and turn it into light, and the female can absorb the negative energy of the male and turn it into light. Like the yin and the yang interlocking with one another through the divine concept of lovemaking. It is no longer you're in a process, what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do. You are flowing with one another in complete, slow, gentle stillness of the expression of the soul, because you can raise that energetic orgasm through different parts of your energy fields, your body, and the soul itself as well. Because that's when the soul will kind of really descend, and you open up portals to so many dimensions, to so many beings, because they feel that love. And when they feel that love, that is what creates the creation, the Big Bang in the universe. You are creating another universe between you and the other partner. You merge into oneness. That practice takes really strong cultivation within the male and the female. You're supposed to feel one another. She feels you, you feel her. Every single inch, you're aware of what's happening, every cell that is shifting. There is so much involved in that. It is asking the permission slip to the yoni before you even enter it. It is being so aware of her that it's so deep to the point where you can feel every cell open up like a flower within. And that is a deep practice. And I believe we're coming back to that as humans. We're not these animals. Even animals make love consciously. We just like, okay, let's go.
Let's go. Oh,
going to bed.
God.
Good night.
Go to fucking A, man. You are hitting on everything I've ever wanted to really intuitively deep in my soul know. And like, I think you're incredible, man. I don't want to end this yet because I have a lot of questions. Okay. So but I got to respect your time too. That description of sex was the most incredible description I've ever heard.
I'm going to correct you. Lovemaking.
Lovemaking. The fact that you had me visualize a new universe created between two people, I can't imagine. It's really hard to cultivate that level of love by yourself, and maybe you can, but I can see that route with another person that you love to create a massive portal of this summation of love between two people. And you mentioned beings. What do you mean beings? There's angels attracted? Is it
there's
like
angels, there's guides, they're multidimensional beings.
Because they sense that love that's being created?
Yeah, because that love is the greatest power. That is when the universe is created.
That was the sense that level of love was the love that was felt before the Big Bang?
That was the Big Bang.
That was the Big Bang.
Yeah. That is the two hearts piercing one another into its own universal light.
It's the same flavor.
Yeah. What we're trying to discover in the universe is happening within us.
Yeah.
Because we are aspects of the universe that came to experience itself here to recreate that within ourselves here. But this matrix that we're living in, 9 to 5 and everything else that we see, is deviating us from that. But we're coming back to that. There's one thing that I'm being guided to share. Through this awareness of lovemaking, this is how you can create portal to open for vibration of a divine child to enter this universe. Because souls enter based on vibration. If your vibration and love is really heightened, you will attract the most heightened, aware soul. During my conception of my oldest daughter, I started to create my oldest daughter in the ether. I took the qualities from my father's side and my mother's side that I liked, the qualities from my partner and her father and mother from that I liked, fused them together. And during the time of the orgasm, I have released it into the universe. When you release that, and at that same time a portal opens up, your whole crown just opens up wide. That's when the soul will notice the vibration and will enter through that into the womb of the mother. So Yahshua and Mary Magdalene knew of this very deeply. You can use that to create a child, or you can use that to create the lifestyle or the universe that will support the heavenly realms to exist on this planet. It is not for manifestation of a car or a house.
Yeah. Thinking about that.
That's what most people will start thinking, because that's a natural state of how we think.
Yeah.
But when you become full of service, your thoughts and desires are no longer become of materialistic stuff, because it will be provided for you of what you need in order to create this heavenly existence on this planet. It is the observation and perception from the astral plane, the higher mind state, not the physical mind of the little mind, the ego mind, that says, I need this to survive. I need this to survive. I need food. I need money. I need home. I need a girlfriend. I need to go to school. I need a job.
Yeah.
All of those things are needed. Don't lose yourself from that. But that is the responsibility of the personality that needs to do these things, which is understandable. We have to live here and survive. But when I close my eyes, I'm not thinking of creating a business or finding this, that. No, I'm releasing all of that. I want to be with Source only. And I constantly remind myself, come back to Source.
Yeah.
We lose ourselves. We lose ourselves in this reality, in this matrix, in this dimension. But when we remind ourselves constantly, realign, you'll start to notice that you will see everybody as Source. You have a great power of clairvoyance. You can read people's minds. I can see that inside of you. You pick up on their thoughts very quickly.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it's been since I was a kid. Yeah. Service. You say service. What does it mean to be of service then? Service to your higher self. That's the number one manifestation we should always be doing or working on. Number one manifestation is to be connected with your truth, with your higher self. Because there's the truth of this world, there's the truth of your personality, and there's the truth of Source. Yeah. Okay, so always being in that alignment. Yeah. The ego stuff, we will do it like, I'm going to work and I have desires. I want to live in Malibu or whatever. But always knowing that that's part of the personality. It might not even be real, probably not real, maybe a little bit real in this physical, but the reality is coming back to Source, as you're saying. And we always have to check ourselves. Yeah. Always. Listen, man, I wanted to go into Egypt. I wanted to go into the beginning of time and creator and aliens. I think we have to have that for another conversation, man, because that's a whole nother hour. I know. I don't know how long we've been here, bro, but I know, but we're timeless. Yeah, but we're timeless, right? We're timeless, bro. You mentioned it. I was like, what? It's just. I have so many questions for you, and I want to really respect the viewers. But will you do part 2? Oh, definitely. Yeah. I really enjoy this. Yeah, definitely, and I think the viewers and listeners are gonna love this. A lot to digest. I want them to digest this. Yeah. Sit with it. And, okay, tell us about your course, your program, where we find you, all of it. So you can always look me up on igorgalibov.com or alignmentoflight.com. I have courses that are coming up. We have different workshops, pilgrimages. The pilgrimages are divinely guided. So it's not like I say, I'm going to do this pilgrimage. If I got to send a signal, I have to do it, then I do it. Retreats.
And I'm actually coming out with a sexual alchemy course.
Ooh, based on the stuff that you were suggesting. Ooh, okay.
Based on that, there's just so much information on that. That itself is such a valuable lesson and experience that I want to put it in the most highly divinely way to be received for people, so they can really utilize it to bring in the portals for the higher divine children. It is very important that we open that, or for their own creations that they want, because that's how we can really change the world.
Yeah.
And for me, it's very important to have that attunement, that alignment that will be truly divinely connected to the Christ consciousness. So this course has been in birth for about 2 years already. And I'm like, okay, finally coming together to release
Incredible, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. I want to do that sexual alchemy course. I have a loving partner, and we always want to continuously bring it to, she's soulmate. I know it. You just know it.
Yeah.
It's a no. You said knowing. It's a fucking knowing. You just know it.
Exactly.
We said your website, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want you all, listen, if any of this, if you felt it in your body, forget the mind, if you felt it in your body, I want you to go to the website and then take that same compass, feel, and start following this work. Because when I say this as a practitioner, I hope medicine one day goes to this sort of healing. I really do. And I believe in this level of healing more than anything. And I'm such a proponent and champion of this. So I really appreciate you coming in here and giving so selflessly and wanting to empower people, remind people, have us remember who we are. I think that you are doing beyond God's work. It's a source work flowing through you. And you know what's funny? I know I'm saying this to you and it don't mean anything to you. You're just hearing it, right? Because it's not on the ego. But I'm trying. I really want to say that from my heart.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. So we'll see you again for part 2.
You got it.
All right, amen.